We're yeah.
You know what time it is. Boom
Shakalaka!
shakalaka.
Yes, baby! Woo! All right! Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom!
I tell you.
A boom, 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 boom.
How.
You guys going way back there.
Oh yeah, we'll take you all the way down south, muddy waters and stuff. welcome to Miss Rocki and Chaveevah North End Update Live.
Because it's always something good going on the North End and
Everywhere else in the Cedar Valley, and you know this, Randy Fox.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I thought, there are things to discover in this city.
Oh, yes.
I've been retired for a long time, kind of laid back, and just now coming out, there are all types of great things going on in this city. And places that we can get involved with the kids, and other construction that's going on. And I'm thoroughly impressed. I feel like I've been sitting inside hibernating for a while.
Wow, yes. Well, I know you're retired, and so are we. And, that clock sometimes is just a friend, Oh, my, look at the time, just kind of sit around a little more.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to welcome you today, Randy.
Thank you.
Randy is going to be we're talking about wrestling, and we've got some great guests today, Chaveevah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have Sid Simpson, the fisherman.
Yes.
And we also have Jerry Springer.
The Jerry Springer, yes.
Jerry Springer, recent inductee into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. So we're going to get a chance to talk with them in just a short while.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know Jerry Springer because he was a coach
at
when you were at
Logan Junior High School, which is now Carver.
Okay.
Right,
Awesome.
right. So he goes way back, and we won't say how old he is, but I'm going to tell you one thing. The man stays busy. He delivers my firewood.
Seriously?
I'm serious. He has a
Wow.
wheelbarrow, and he does it all. He used to
Okay.
have a helper, but he got old.
Okay.
The helper got
The
too
helper
old
got
to
too
help, but
old.
not
Okay.
Jerry. He's still hanging in there.
Right.
But we want to talk to you a little bit about the word boom shakalaka because y'all know it's catching on quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about North End Update Live proper etiquette for boom shakalaka because everywhere we go somebody hollering out boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
So what is the way? How do you take it, Randy? When somebody walks up to you and says boom shakalaka.
Shakalaka boom!
Okay.
Throw it right back at them. That's right.
And it's what? You feel that? It's
It's a feeling. It's like
right.
kind
It's
of like
Friday.
music.
Yeah.
It's uplifting, and
Right.
it's something you feel. Now,
Make you wanna
actually,
dance.
somebody say, "Well, how do you feel?" Then boom chakalaka.
All
There you
right,
go.
that says it's time. Let's go.
Yes,
Right. Okay. Well, we're glad that everybody knows what time it is when it's boom shakalaka o'clock.
Yes.
And we're good. And the show actually begins right now, Chaveevah.
Yes, it does. Okay.
All right, Randy. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what the reason we have you here? I mean, you're cool enough.
Well,
Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
But you have a son that was recently inducted, and he's also a professor at where? Talk to me about Jamal and his induction to the wrestling.
Jamal wrestled at Wartburg College for Coach Jim Miller. And, the picture they had there, those two, when they embraced, I remember that well. We were there for that. I had watched him wrestle the 3-time national champion down to a 1-1 tie, and I just knew the next year, it's going to be yours.
Now, did you coach him at all? Did you know? Oh, tell me the story. Oh, you told me the funny one, and then of course we're going to move on because we got a lot of other stuff, and I know you can go, so I'm watching.
I learned it from you.
Okay. So
Okay.
what was it? He took you down, or what?
Yeah, he threw me down. This is, had nothing to do with his wrestling prowess. I knew he was a good wrestler, but he was in high school at that time. And I watched him do this move, on TV, local TV. And so he just ran up and grabbed me and just slammed me on the ground.
Uh-oh.
And this is my high school kid. But one thing I didn't see on TV, when you're watching him wrestle, is that it knocks the wind out of you.
So there you are.
They didn't
on
mention
the
that
floor,
part.
wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, so when I was able to breathe again, I said, "Let me up, Jamal." He said, "No, Dad, you're going to hit me." I said, "No, I swear to God, JJ, I'm not." He didn't let me up. And that's when I knew that not only was he a good wrestler, but he was intelligent also.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so after he won the national title that year, he went on from Wartburg to Pennsylvania College of Optometry.
Oh.
And so he practiced out there for a while. Then, unfortunately, fell in love, so he had to move back to St. Louis.
But he's still practicing.
Yes, he has a small practice there that he owns. He also, does eye exams at one of the local community health clinics.
Wow.
And he's an adjunct professor at the University of Missouri St. Louis. So I think his aspirations are to get tenure at the university. I think.
My goodness.
Eventually.
And Jamal, we hope you're watching. And of course, we would have preferred to have you. But since you sit Randy now, Randy and I go way back, Chaveevah.
Okay.
You've known Randy.
Yeah, I can tell by the back and forth.
Right. But I know you're very proud, as well as Penny, your
Oh,
wife.
absolutely.
It wasn't anything you've done by
Yeah.
yourself.
No, and it's one of those things that I wasn't that really coaching type dad, being involved, in kids, But I think we're fortunate that we had people in this area, such as Coach Springer, Coach Miller,
sure.
that could mentor these kids. I think
That's right.
one of the problems I see with the kids nowadays is that they don't have that coachability. Back when it seemed like kids were eager to learn.
Right.
And I think that you have to have that. And I just don't see it enough in these kids today. I mean, we take these kids, once we send them out of our home, we expect somebody else to do something with, whether it be education or coaching.
Yeah.
And I think we're fortunate.
To have, because sometimes you get to your wits' end. It's time to send them to school. Let somebody else deal with this child.
Yes.
But they have to have that malleability
Of
that they
course.
picked up at home.
And you teach them that you got to teach them that at
somebody else
home.
can do something with it.
Shape them up before you send them out, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Coach
So
Springer,
this
there
past
again.
week,
Thank you.
this past week we had a lot of things going on. We hope that you all enjoyed your Christmas break. Zion, are there any comments?
Yes. Travis Lee Ferguson says, "What up, peeps?"
Oh,
Hey,
that don't count. That don't count.
Yes.
Joe Gordon says, "Happy New Year."
All right. Who said that?
Joe Gordon.
Oh, hi,
Okay.
Joe. Yes.
Laura Rose Burt says, "Love what y'all are doing." Hashtag boom shakalaka.
All right.
Laura,
See,
thank
that's
you.
what's up.
Chastity
Thank
Martin
you.
says, "Great to see you all."
Hey, Chas.
Thank you, Chas, for
Joyce
watching.
Wilder says, "Boom shakalaka."
Oh,
Hey,
Joyce.
Joyce.
Joyce. I got to get Joyce back on the show.
Yes.
She's knitting scarves and hats.
Doing all kinds of
Sally
stuff.
Preby says, "Hi, beautiful ladies."
Hey, Sally.
Joyce Wilder says, "Come on with shakalaka."
All
Okay.
right. Come on now.
And
Who's
that
that
is
one
all.
that only saw ladies up here?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, Randy. Okay. So now we're just gonna talk about Laura. Who won the Essence?
Okay. Yep, we want to say congratulations to Linda Ireland.
Yes.
She's the winner of the Lulitz Essence Hair Essence gift bag. And also, we want to say thanks to everybody that responded about what they were going to have for their holiday
Christmas
meal.
dinner.
Oh, man, I heard some good stuff.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Randy, what did you cook? Because I know you like to
Yes.
cook.
I didn't cook this year. We spent Christmas Eve in Des Moines.
Oh, nice.
With my grandkids. Well, with half my grandkids.
Oh.
The other half were in Florida at Disney World.
Okay.
Can't understand why they wouldn't spend the time with Grandpa.
Instead of Disney World. Okay, we got to shout out to our sponsors, Chaveevah.
Yes, absolutely. Experience Waterloo, 500 Jefferson Street. And like you were saying earlier, Randy, talking about finding out things that you didn't even know was going on. going to experience Waterloo, you can find out a lot of those things. You had no idea what was going on right here in town.
500 Jefferson Street.
Yes.
Also, Ferguson Team Real Estate. Shout out, Travis Ferguson. Thank you. And if you're looking to buy or sell, contact Travis. And he can also give you an encouraging pep talk about getting your credit in order or applying for a home mortgage loan or all kinds of things that Travis can directly get you in touch with. So give Travis a call at 515-661-1202. All right, and Educational Talent Search.
Absolutely. Educational Talent Search and Educational Opportunity Center, which are both located at 800 Sycamore. We know, we say this all the time, education is the key, absolutely. Right. And to start thinking about what you would like to do further with your education, it definitely is not as difficult as you think it is. Go and see and talk to someone at UniQ.
Right. Sit down, Randy. Get some help.
Rocki, we said we're going to play nice, remember?
Sit down. Go get you one of them educational counselors and see if they can't help you out. All right. Thank you, Zion. Also, Talent Search and Educational Opportunity Center is the one for grown folks, right? Like Randy.
That's right, and myself too.
And
I
like
certainly,
you, right?
Use their services when I got to town.
Right, right. And don't forget Banneker watches. We love you, Derek.
Yes.
And it's not a stopwatch; it's a Banneker because we never stop.
Oh.
Okay.
That's cool. I like the way you did that.
All right. And when you support us, Randy, you may not know, but 20% of all of our donations and proceeds goes to
Royal Legacy Christian Academy. Absolutely. You help to pay our intern, who is totally awesome.
Yes, Zion.
Yes.
He's the best intern, and you're going to get to see him talk about Kwanzaa in just a minute.
That's right.
And you're helping to raise royalty because Chastity and Kendall and the principal, Amber Robinson, Dr. Robinson, and Kehoe, Miss Kehoe, they're doing a great job over there at Royal Legacy. So make sure that you support them that way.
Yes, and on top of everything, you help to promote your own business, which then makes us all
look good. Seriously? Don't you want to look good? All right, we're almost in time to introduce our guests in just a minute. But first, Zion, we want to talk to you about Kwanzaa. Now, this is a holiday that you've been celebrating for some time.
Yes.
And today is
Kujichagulia.
Kujichagulia. Now,
That
that's
means
kind of fun to say.
Self-determination.
Kwanzaa is kind of special because it's 7 days, and each day means a different thing, and most of it is really just teaching everyone morals and how to act. So it's more about bringing your family together and getting your alignment as people. And so it's really a family-oriented holiday of just making yourself better.
Yes, yes. And what kind of things do you like to practice? I mean, as far as like today, what would be a good practice to do on how you say the word?
Kujichagulia.
Kujichagulia. What is it?
It's self-determination, and it's very individualized. That's the thing that's really cool about it too. There's no one set way that you need to celebrate. I mean, you might, for instance, on Unity Day, you might get together with your friends. You might have a card party, but it's bringing you all together, right?
And I like it, one, because it's like, all right, we can go celebrate our ancestors, or we can, just spend time with family, or go meditate by ourselves. It's not like how, you have Christmas and it's all about giving gifts and all that. But Kwanzaa is more like, self-betterment and betterment of other people.
Sure.
Yes.
Right. Well, good.
Awesome.
Now you guys see Zion. That's what we like about Zion, is always keeping us up to speed with what young people are thinking in his age group. Way to go, Zion. Thank you. And you're so awesome. We love helping Zion out because he sure helps us out.
Yes, indeed. No doubt about that.
All right. Well, now What else we got?
Some
Shaviva?
quick shout outs. We want to shout out, as always, our crew here at WCTV.
Yes.
That's Ed, Zion, and Agnes.
Yes. Ed, Zion, and Agnes. And we want to make sure that you watch us on WCTV on Channel 17. You watch us.
Channel 17, yes, I do.
Yes,
That's-
or YouTube. Or YouTube. Just type in North End Update or Ms. Rocki and Chaveevah, and you'll find us there.
If you are listening, William Burt and Tisha Burt, shout
Yes.
out to you on your graduation
Yes.
from you and I.
Congratulations.
Right.
Father and daughter. Father graduated with master's, daughter graduated with BA.
Wow. Now
Education
that
is the key.
Education is
One
showing
of
up
my-
the key.
One of my fellow board members.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
that's
that's
right,
right. And
William.
thank you for
Mhm.
serving in the community in other capacities.
Definitely.
Also want to shout out to Gabriel Ferguson. Not Gabriel, Jacob. Is coming to you and I. Shaviva wrote it wrong, but it's Jacob.
Okay, yes.
But thank you, Shaviva. Great effort. He signed his LOI to play football with you and I here recently, and we are looking
Want
forward
to
to
tell us who this Jacob Ferguson is? I know.
You
but-
know,
but
yes,
but
but
those
he's
are-
a special family member. He's my step grandson, and he is making us all look good. Everybody,
Yes.
I
I'm real
believe
proud.
he's earned a scholarship at UNI in
Yes.
football.
Yes, right.
So we've got some more tailgating
Shout out to the
experiences.
parents.
Oh yeah, you bet.
LaShonda and Antonio, shout out to you too.
Right. Okay, and now they've waited long enough. Zion,
Yes,
how we
indeed.
doing over there?
I was just about to show you the time.
Okay.
15 minutes.
All right. And do we have any more comments before we introduce our guests?
Yes.
And we want you to ask our guests questions once they come on. If you have anything you'd like to ask.
Sherry
don't
Jones
know.
says, "Hey Rocky,
Oh, hey, Sherry.
Shaviva, and
Hey,
Randy."
Sherry.
Did she drop off something to
Yeah.
you?
Okay,
The red
yes.
book?
The green book.
The green book. You do have that. That's
There's
interesting.
5 of them.
Okay, we'll share that next week then. Is that okay, Shaviva?
That's fine.
The green book? Okay. Because that's some really interesting things, and we have to lead up to that and make sure everybody knows what we're talking about. Okay, I think it's time, Shaviva.
Yes.
They have waited long enough in the wing.
Yes, and so have you waited
and so
long
have
enough.
you, yes.
Meet our awesome guest we have today, Mr. Sid Simpson and
And
Mr. Jerry Springer.
Springer, yes. Welcome. Come on over. And sit right down right
Thank you.
here, Mr.
Thank you.
Springer. And Mr. Simpson. Yes. Welcome. Yes, good to see you.
It's good to see you all.
Yeah.
really.
And you don't
That's
have
fun.
on your bib overalls?
No, I don't. I've got, I've just changed a little bit.
Yeah, you look so nice.
Well, you know, just like Superman, he changes into his outfit, you know, and goes to work, you know.
And he dresses in red too, just
Yep,
like
he
you.
did too. Yeah.
Well, if you didn't know better, you'd think this was Superman, Randy. You've
Yeah,
met
if
him.
anybody deserves to wear that S on his chest, I'd say S is for Springer.
Okay,
All.
all right.
The benefit of that is I don't have to go to the weight room when I'm done.
Oh, there you go. Those days are, yeah,
Really?
you don't. You got all your, the wood that you haul, it takes care of it all.
Well.
And also, speaking, Shaviva, of Superman,
Yes, absolutely. The Fisherman. That's how I
The
first ever
Fisherman.
heard of you, as the Fisherman. And then the time we went to your home and got a chance to see all of the wonderful memorabilia and stuff that you have.
yes.
Yes.
But we're going to talk to you about your stories in just a minute. But we always have to ask everybody that comes on our show. It's a trick question. And we like to keep you on your toes. And if you're not familiar with the show and you don't watch us,
Oh,
see?
no, I haven't.
Okay. Well,
I'll
the,
lead you.
the question is, do you subscribe to the Soul Town?
I will.
I haven't today.
Oh, okay.
And that's usually the response we get. I will, or at least the information is out there, because
Right.
we absolutely want to promote that this magazine started right here in Waterloo.
Sure did.
You probably might have seen the young lady that came earlier today and dropped these off. Sheree
Right.
Kabashi is the founder.
And that's one of those new
Oh,
things
really?
should be
So
how-
that
Oh, yeah.
I never knew. You
Me
know.
either, Randy. How do you purchase?
I'm glad you
go-
asked that question.
Thought you'd never ask. It's just about all the wonderful things. It's a virtual town, the
Yes.
Soul Town, and there's a new section that Chillin was telling us about that's featuring Black history every month of the year. So that's something that doesn't get, February is not enough. I'm sorry, you know.
And Black history is American history. Now, in the print
Exactly.
edition, there's a coupon that you can cut out, you can clip and indicate how long of a subscription you would like, or you can go online and subscribe at
thesoultown.com. Or you can buy a hard copy at Earth's Beauty Supply, and I can tell I know you've been to Tri-City by the way you look.
I go to Tri-City.
All the
right
time,
then.
right? Go to Tri-City.
Yeah.
Tell them you're looking for the Soul Town.
Okay.
Looking for
All right.
Good.
And now we want to make sure that we get to shout out to our birthday people, and we want you to be nice and comfortable. So you like to sing, Mr. Springer?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You do. I know you're a
Okay.
churchgoer. You sing in the choir, I bet. And you like to sing.
Oh, I sing and play guitar, you know how.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
right. He
That's
sang
right.
to us. He made up a song called Boom Shakalaka for us that
I
day.
can tap my feet, Rocky.
Okay. Hey, I know you can.
He clap his hands.
Okay. Well, it's always a party. So listen, we got Robert Anderson, Shalia Walker, Chantavia Henderson, Susan Dunn, my girl, Troy Goodson, and Bob Creasing Chaveevah.
Okay, we also have Shelley Woolard, Laura Rose Burt, happy birthday. Mike Madlock, Neil Washington, David Van Arsdale, and Kathleen Simon Ingalls.
Yes. Oh, see, he's ringing the bell over here. Bernardsdale, he says. Ashley Glover. Yeah. Meta Hemingway Forbes, Benjamin Smith, Irvin Sabick, and Tammy Frazier, and Jerry Smith. I know every single one of them. You probably do too.
Probably do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to wish each and every one of you a happy birthday. I'm telling you, it's something to have a birthday.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It really means a lot.
That's right. If you're lucky, you get one every year.
I know. And if you keep living, you might get a new wrinkle or an ache in your back or, a kink in your neck. But you know what?
Thankful for another year.
That's
All the
right.
time.
And after what you've been through,
Oh,
let's sing happy birthday to him. And it goes something like
Like
this. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right. Woo.
Sometimes I forget the words.
There's a couple words, Randy. Okay. All right. I think we're going to start with Sidney Simpson. I mean, you have a huge collection of so much memorabilia. Tell us about some of the things. Now, I know you were a wrestler in junior high school.
Right,
Talk
right.
about that, and then tell us what made you start collecting all these things. We do have some pictures that are going to be showing up here pretty soon, but let us know.
I was inspired by Dan Gable, wrestling legend here in Waterloo, and his something about him with practicing and the determination and the will to win, it stuck into me some type of way. And I always wanted to be like that. And I told my mom I wanted to wrestle, she told me, practice makes perfect.
Okay.
And so I took it in a different way. I took it real serious. And I was able to achieve quite a bit. And my main goal was to just really make my mom proud.
Oh, and you and your mother had the beautiful relationship. Talk about the picture that we're
That we
looking
see
at
in the
here.
background.
Now, what kind of collection?
That's unbelievable right there.
It
what you're looking
is.
at. It's I got over 100 wins in those uniforms and those
Oh.
singlets that you see right there. And that clock that you're looking at it came from Derek Holmes. I appreciate you, hometown.
Oh, hometown. Okay.
And that came from Logan, and he called me the keeper of time.
Oh.
Wow.
He came up to watch me as a kid when I was wrestling at Logan. And what you see, that little kid right there, is that's my stepson, Martelli Jenkins, and I coached him to
Oh, yes.
wrestling.
We've heard about him.
Everybody know he went on to be a professional football player.
That's right.
But in the middle of, if you cut to the middle of that professional football player, you go all the way back to that little young wrestler.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So, you know, that was real touching for him to, for me to coach him and for him to win his first championship as a kid, you know.
Sure.
And I feel like, you know, if you can just, you know, touch the life of a kid in some form, shape,
Oh,
form,
it
you
is
know,
such a blessing to
you've
be a
accomplished
special part.
everything, you know.
Yes.
Yes, to be a special part of a child's life means a lot. And I think if we're talking about your fishing stories, wanted to touch on that just a little bit.
No,
I think she has a picture of that big. Oh, look at some of the fish that you have, and then we have
Yeah.
comments after you.
12-time Iowa Big Fish Award winner,
Wow.
3-time state champion. And that fishing it's been a passion. Man.
Look at
You
that.
know, it's a passion in the family, and my mom and my dad and myself, we always fished, and we had competition with each other. And you know, it was when I found out Coach Springer was the son of Hank from the bait house. My dad
Yeah.
and Hank was good friends. And
Hank is your
was
son?
just-
Yeah, it's my dad.
That's
Yeah,
his
yeah,
dad. I mean,
Hank is your dad.
Yeah,
it's
my dad,
unbelievable.
Hank Springer was my dad, yeah.
Get out. Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
small
That's what I
world.
said, it's a small world.
It is
my
so
dad and his
simple.
dad was friends.
wow.
And
I
see, I never
bet.
knew he was a coach or a wrestler because I've been gone for over 35 years.
Oh, yes.
So I
you were
didn't know
on
his
top.
son,
Yeah.
Jamal, had did what he did, and I didn't know Coach Springer because I've been gone.
Right, you've
Well,
been gone
see,
and you
Sid,
were
I
busy.
didn't know that you were a fisherman either. And you know that we had
Oh,
met
you
back
like
and
to
forth
fish. Yeah.
at the hardware. Well,
All the
I was
time.
a conservation officer years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's a question you always ask somebody, you know, when you're meeting and hooking up and getting to know them, and that is, what kind of boat you got?
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's it. Just that's it. One thing about
Zion,
it.
we have
When you're
comments.
real good, you don't need a boat.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Need a boat.
Zion, you say you have comments.
Yes. Mike Madlock says, "Hey ladies, good to see you."
Oh, Mike. He was on our
Hey,
show.
Mike, yeah,
Good to
happy
see you, Mr.
birthday.
Fox.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Kevin Emily says, "Coach Jerry Springer, the man, the myth, the legend."
Oh,
Yeah.
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 We're going to talk to him next.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kevin Emily is one of your biggest fans, and he's
Absolutely.
been shouting out. But quick, we want to ask you. I know it's a lot to get down in about a minute and a half.
Right.
But tell us. I know you had an accident and you
Right.
had a near-death experience that
Right.
really changed your life.
Right.
Talk. Just brush over that and tell us how did that happen.
Well, I was working for the water company, and an 18-year-old girl was driving, and it was 2:30 in the morning. She didn't have any headlights on, and I was looking in the direction of the oncoming traffic, and I never saw her coming. And I turned around to walk to my truck to get a tool, and she hit me from. I took 2 steps, and on the third step, she hit me, and about 60 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And I flew up in the air, probably about above the street light, and I landed like maybe 40 or 50 feet down the road on the pavement. And it was the wrestling attitude
Okay.
that made me want to get up. Because I was never knocked out, I was never unconscious, had an out-of-body experience, and that's a whole nother show.
I
Yes,
know
it
we have
absolutely is.
Another
Yes.
got to get
But,
you
yeah,
to
with
come
the-
back and talk just about that because I imagine your whole life flashed ahead of you.
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yes,
when
sir.
you're fishing, you can relive it over and over, and
Right.
there's so much to talk about.
Right, it's a lot to talk about, but yeah, I mean, with the mentality, it took me 2 years to learn how to walk again, and being, with the attitude of a wrestler and winning, and that played a big part in me being able to walk today.
You bet.
Wow.
You got to reach way down deep sometimes and
Gotta
pull
go
up
deep.
something you didn't know you had to keep going. So.
Absolutely, really
You
did.
are certainly a testament, and it's such a blessing to know you, Sid.
Yes.
He treated us like queens. We went to his house, and he
All
served
right.
us fresh
that's
fish.
fun.
Yes.
And gave us the grand tour. It's more than you ever did, Randy.
I always catch you stealing out of my garden.
Thank you so much, Sid.
Oh, yeah.
Shaveevah, we can't thank him
Appreciate
enough
you
for the
guys,
help.
too. Appreciate
Absolutely,
you guys.
absolutely. And with you talking about just those roots of wrestling, we've got wrestling,
Wrestling
all around
around
this table.
It's raining men.
and
Hallelujah.
Black
what he
Hawk
said,
County.
yes.
It's,
Black Hawk County.
it's
he,
fire.
he
It's
mentioned,
fire.
you mentioned this gentleman sitting across
Yes.
as being a very
Mr.
strong influence, Mr. Jerry Springer.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Please talk to us some about yourself and
Well, first of all, let me just, it's overwhelming, really, just to come back, and I'm humbled by it, first of all. And, listening to you people talk here tonight and to listen to the people responding, little things in life are really important.
yes.
And like saying thank you, or like saying job well done, good and faithful servant.
Oh, yes.
It means
And
a
then
lot.
all the things that we have and all the things that we ask for. And I asked Jamal Fox, by the way, that of his moment. I said, could you describe that picture when you're hugging your coach? Is anything, the little things that you talk about here are really big things
Sure.
and are really important to everybody alive. And you recognize this. It's really a nice show, by the way.
Oh,
This
thank
is good. You
you.
people
I
do
gotta give
just
you
a
a round of
you
applause.
do a fine job.
You
And
got-
the little things that we're saying, I can't believe that you recognize these people. That is really a fun time. And that goes back to Logan Junior High.
There we go.
When I came out,
There we go.
and then when I came, my first job was at Logan Junior High.
You talk about Punchy Salas. I know
Well,
Go,
it
Logan.
was because just in the fact is that Punchy, it was a historical event, and in the point of here I am a coach, and now I have Punchy here too, and Punchy's to come into this. What a great feeling that was for me to have this, just the fact of having him there. And just, it was a great time for me, really, and to have one of your own wrestlers. But the Logan Junior High team at that time told me that this guy could coach.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
I went ahead and said, well, maybe I ought to try doing this for the rest of my life, of the 38 years that I have coached. And it just overwhelms me in the fact of I've said this before, even on television. It's not the Jerry Springer show,
Okay.
but it is the point of Chuck Patton at the University of Northern Iowa, Mashik that was at West High School and then coached at Don Bosco, Smith, Salas, Punchy, I call him, and Cunningham,
Yes, sir.
and Jamal Fox.
Yes, sir.
These are all people that have wide range and so forth, but not only the sport of wrestling, but we got a JOB.
There you
know?
go. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
There's
you know,
life
and-
after wrestling. Right.
Medals taste good, maybe not too good in salad and gravy, but least of all, we had the opportunity that we had a job and a responsibility, and they even paid me to coach. And I said, well, hey, I think I'll try that for a number of years.
You coached at Central.
Yes, I did. I
The
coached at
last
Central.
year, 1989.
Yeah, I
believe.
coached at Central, and then from Central, I coached at. I was kind of the Johnny Appleseed, really, more of anything else. I went to Davenport Assumption, and then I went to Waverly Shell Rock.
Oh.
And then I went back to school and got my master's degree at Missouri, and then I coached at McCook Junior College for 14 years.
My word,
I
you've
had
got an extensive
8 teams
career.
that after that were undefeated. I was coach of the year a couple times. We were #1 in the nation at McCook.
Unbelievable.
And then I met another guy, Newt Koppel from Lincoln, Nebraska. And Newt Koppel was a head of wrestling for the United States, and he made me junior
my.
world chairman for the United States Wrestling.
Wow.
And I've traveled, been around the world a couple times,
My goodness.
and I had all NCAA national champions. And then I'm doing this quickly to run through this.
Oh,
and,
I understand. Well,
And then
no,
just
you
in the
got-
fact of being able to be on the United States Olympic Committee from 1972 to 1976.
Wow.
That was when we had the problems in the people that were being hurt at that time when they got
right, in
shot
the
back
Olympics,
then. We were traveling in
yes.
an armored car back then when we went back to the meet. But anyway, just
You've had-
in the fact, it's been a really, I think the biggest crowd that I was under was in Sofia, Bulgaria. I think we had over 50,000
My
watching
goodness.
us wrestle and so
Well,
forth.
Mr. Springer, we just want to give you a round of applause and thank you so much for your service. You have touched so many lives. I talked to Terry Salas and Kevin Emily, who's watching now.
Yeah, I know.
All of these
What's up,
people
Kevin?
have
These guys are great people, boy.
they've said the most heartwarming things about you, and I could understand why, especially the way you set up my wood. You know what he did? He brings my firewood to me. And I'm out there, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to help him out, because he's no spring chicken, right? But he's loading it all up. And he gets it all unloaded. And he says, you know what? I brought you a whole load, but the Bible says to be nice to widows. So I'm going to give it to you for half of it.
That's my man.
I started crying. I'm like, oh, man, starts crying.
Well,
Thank you
That's
so
his heart
much.
right there.
Yes, it was very nice of you. And Zion, I think we have comments.
Yes, we do.
All right. I know we waited for a while.
Kevin Emily says, "Head from Alabama at the wrestling tournament, but watching."
Oh,
right. Hey,
that's
Kevin.
right. He's at a tournament right now.
Yeah.
So
Joyce Wilder says, "God is good, bro."
yes,
All the time.
all the time, and
Yes.
he'll start preaching too. I'm like, well, look, look, Mr. Springer. You know what though?
Don't get it started. Don't get it started.
He loves to talk about the Lord, and that's a good subject. It's a
Yes,
good
it
thing.
is.
Joyce Wilder says, "Jerry Springer, it's time to show out."
Hey, Joyce, not that Jerry. That's funny.
Chris Oram says, nice to see Coach Springer."
Yes, Chris Oram. Now he could have been one of your students as
Yeah.
well. I think he's about
You
my
know,
age.
something that
so.
occurred to me sitting here just listening is that every last one of these men sitting here is somebody that we could have on the show, just them,
Right,
to talk about different
exclusively.
experiences. I mean, it's
Right.
embarrassment of riches right now.
Exactly. And our time is up.
Well, that's okay.
Right.
That's good.
I
That's
Well,
just-
we made a
good
good
to
show.
touch
Oh,
base.
yes.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh,
I appreciate
it.
the. I appreciate the.
Hey, we gonna go fishing, man.
Oh, okay. We started something there.
Listen to this. At the ceremony, Dan Gable was talking, and just in the fact of him talking a little bit about myself, and I was wondering what he was going to say, but anyway, not only in the point of wrestling, but in football, but his last points that he said was, hey, you got to talk to this guy because this guy likes to catch walleyes. But anyway, I showed him, the old Chinese proverb is a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Oh, sure.
And I didn't realize that you had the amount, you don't only tell it, you show it.
Oh, yeah. We
It
got
shows,
pictures.
yeah.
We took pictures.
You
with
got,
him, right?
Jaws on there, right?
We'll look at your fish, Jerry.
Yeah, so there's one there. Look at that. That's one.
Yes.
He-
Oh, my goodness.
we had a
It's like
grand
a
tour.
striper.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
That's a
Agnes.
wiper right there.
Wiper.
I'm a three-time state champion in fishing in the state of Iowa. 12
Oh, really?
Big Fish Award.
I thought last year I had the state walleye record.
Oh,
And I live on the Shell Rock River, and he
that
wasn't. He was 32 inches long, and he weighed 13.
wow.
And the walleye record is 14.8.
To be continued, you guys. Okay.
But anyway, sorry about that.
Hey, Jerry, my season record, it was 13.3, and it was 33 and a half inches long.
Oh my
That's the one that-
goodness.
I'm gonna have to get together and hang with you guys a little more often.
Right. Well, we know what
But
makes
but I showed him pictures of 10 or 12 pictures, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I laid him down, and he went, dang! See, he's got a
Okay.
cabin up on the Mississippi.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and close this show
Okay,
out.
go ahead,
fellas.
go ahead.
Okay, wait.
Police gonna arrest us if we keep talking.
Yeah. Sit down.
Oh,
Sit
I
down.
was gonna say something.
We're still live.
Okay.
That's why let's get this corralled. All right. And now, we want to encourage you guys to do more of what makes you awesome. We know what that is: wrestling and firewood and
Yes, and
fishing. And
all that.
I don't know what I know what you're wearing. I'm not gonna say BS in here
keep doing what makes you awesome because
because it makes us all look
good.
good.
My glass
See you
is
next
empty, so
time.
See you next time.
Chaveevah,